Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It is December the 28th, 2023. I thought I would pop on and see who was out there during the holidays. I had a pretty good Christmas. It was nice having all the family home. We had my in laws over, and my wife's aunt came over for supper. I was able to get over to my parents' house in the afternoon to the nursing home and visit with them for a little bit too. So it was really nice. And before Christmas, I had a phone call with all my childhood friends. The four of us all got together online. We don't do it nearly enough. We keep saying we need to get together more often, and something always comes up. But I was glad that we were able to make this work this time around. So that was nice too to get caught up with them. What about you guys? Have you had a good Christmas? Anything special that you got this year, or food that you enjoyed? I did get to do one of the recipes so far, Lila's chocolate drops. I did a video about that, so it was kind of nice to do that video, to have that recipe, and I'm gonna try to get some more recipes done here between now and when I go back to work again, I guess. But some of them may even go on into the new year. Now, looking forward to what I plan on doing with the channel going forward. I'm still going to do the same styles that I've been doing, but I'm going to try to do some more organization of some of the videos and when they come out, like I have with my Friday videos. My Friday videos are always about showing you what post-crossing cards have arrived this week. I do That Dad Guy Answers on Saturday. On Sunday, I tend to do the cards that I am sending out. And I do kind of want to do some changes a little bit with that. Uh, I'd like to get into doing some more showing you how I decorate the cards, how I pick the cards selections. So I may try to feather some of those in. I also want to get into more stamp related videos. I tend to do one, maybe two during the week, depending on if stamps get sent to me. But I have been showing you the yearly albums here in Canada, and I'm almost getting caught up with that too. So I want to carry on with those. Stamp versus Stamp is a collaboration I do with a Snail Mail with Smokey. So we want to get into, we've talked about it, continuing to do more of those, probably one a month. I am going to introduce Stamp of the Month starting in January too, as a continuing collaboration with Liverpool Stamps. So we've talked about that. We kind of have an idea where we want to start and to go. So hopefully you'll look forward to seeing more stamp videos that way, and some more history of the stamps. I started a series last year of historical Canadians, or some Canadians that maybe you didn't hear nearly as much about, and doing some history on that. I do want to continue to do some of those historical type videos, as well as the festivals I go to, and some of the local events that I do. So I'm going to continue doing that. I just want to try to organize when things come out and on what days. Um, and then, yeah, live videos. I love doing the live videos. It is always a challenge trying to find the right time to go live, when people are going to be on, and who might be interested in chit chatting. So the ones that I tend to do have been on Wednesdays. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to schedule one day a week for the live, other than the live that I do on Saturday when I'm answering your questions. So we are going to have to see there. I also want to schedule in some breaks, because putting out a video every day can be taxing. Now, there are weeks that I have so much content that I want to share. I want to make sure it gets out there, that I continue to do that. So I'm not going to stifle. I'm not going to say I'm going to stop doing these lives, or I'm going to stop putting up videos on Thursday, for example, because Thursday is usually the one day of the week that I do tend to do a break. And today I thought about putting out a Lego video, because I haven't done one of those for a while. I have gotten some Lego for Christmas, so I want to show you that. But I decided today wasn't the day for that. I wanted to do more of a sit down chit chat with you, and see who was going to be on, and what you guys wanted to talk about. But I did want to, that first 5 minutes here that I've been talking, I did want to get that off my chest and kind of say this is what I've been thinking about continuing with the channel, and some of the things that I like to focus on. So always continuing with postcards and stamps and feathering and some Lego from time to time, but doing the festivals, doing historical pieces too. And I like the aspect of the stamp of the month because I want to convey some more of the history of different types of stamps. I tend to show you when someone sends me a lot of stamps, like I did with Stevens the other day. The stamps he sent me, I kind of just peruse over top of them. I give you a chance to see what they look like and where they're from, but I don't really talk about individual stamps. So I do want to get into that a bit more and learn about the stamps. Not that I have the knowledge to send to you guys about the stamps, but it is going to be me researching about stamps and telling you what I learned about that. So hopefully you guys will like that. There are enough of you that are out there that are stamp collectors, and some of you are beginner stamp collectors too. So knowing the history of some stamps and some history of some of the countries too, I think will be a wonderful thing. Hopefully you'll agree. And if you get more people on that join this live, maybe I'll have some conversations about it too. I see there's one person on right now, but you might be watching on the television. You may not be able to leave a written comment like you would if you were on your phone or your tablet. So I understand that some people just tune in to watch and don't participate nearly as much that way, which is all right. And leave comments after the fact too, which is great. I have done a bit of that. What else has been going on here? People have been asking about what I got for Christmas. I've gotten some of those questions, and I've also gotten questions about our birch tree. What's the history behind that too? So I thought maybe today would be a good day to talk a little bit about that. As far as what I got for Christmas, we don't do a lot of presents for the adults. My wife and I exchange stockings, and within that stocking, there's usually a chocolate, like a Terry's chocolate orange or a Ferrero Rocher's. My wife likes marshmallow covered chocolates as well. So that you might have some Lego minifigures, which I did have this time. So I got a few of those. Small sets of Lego. There's a couple of those. I did get a really nice painting and stamp match that that came from my in-laws. So I was happy to get that. And you get a chance to see it. I did get a new sign too for that dad guy that my wife had made. So that's probably going to go up somewhere here in this office to kind of be a new backdrop or a new background. I'm not quite sure where it's going to go yet. There is that wall right there that doesn't have anything on it. So it is possible that it could go there, or I could move one of these pictures that's behind me to that wall and put the sign there. But it was really nice of her to create a new That Dad Guy sign for the office space. I think it may have come from the idea that we watched some of Renee Lewis's videos, and in the background she's got a word that says blessed behind, and that's what you see all the time. So I think maybe my wife saw that and thought maybe I should have that dad guy behind me somewhere. So I got that. What else? That's kind of it really for presents this year. Like I said, we don't do a lot for each other. During the year, if there's something we need, we usually get it. We don't wait till Christmas Day for that. But my kids both got lots of things from grandparents and from relationships that they're in or from each other. So I think everybody was kind of happy with the gifts that were under the tree. My daughter got a remote control Lewis Hamilton F1 car, which she seemed to be very pleased about. Yeah. All right, let's get into the history of the birch tree a little bit. I know Eric from Ontario asked the question about it, whether it was a New Brunswick tradition or whether it was something that we do here in the Maritimes. No, it's not. I've told the history before, but I'll say it again. The reason why we have a birch tree, I don't know, you can see it through there, through the door. I might go back out there again so you can see it a little bit more clearly. Maybe I'll do that while we're unplug here. I'll go into the other room so you can see the tree, and then I'll tell you the history behind it at the same time. So let's do that. All right. So here is said tree. The spotlight isn't on it right now, as You get the idea. It's covered in decorations all over the place. And the reason we have it is because my wife's father's parents had Christmas and they had the traditional green tree. And Christmas morning, they woke up and all the needles had fallen off the tree. And they thought, enough of this. They've had problems with needles before, or the tree toppling over, or it being up so long with all the water in it, it just dries out. So they decided that they would go to a birch tree. And so the tradition continued into from his family into my wife's father, brought it into their family. And then when we got together, my wife and I started with a birch tree in one room and a green tree in the other room, because that's what I was used to having. And now we've done away with the green tree, and we have for a number of years now. We just go with the birch tree. So that's why we have a birch tree. It was from my wife's side of the family. And it always gets people thinking and talking when they see this tree. You know, some people say, oh, it looks like a Charlie Brown tree. Or, they're so used to a green tree, they can't fathom having anything else but that. But others come in and can really see what it is, with all the memories that are dangling from this tree, because we do a ornament every year, my wife and I, for our anniversary, because it's on the 22nd of December. So every year new ornaments are going up there. There are ornaments up here that were from my wife's childhood that we've inherited. There are from her grandparents' collection of ornaments. There are ornaments that my kids have made, ornaments we've just found in stores that we enjoy, things that represent our children and some of the activities that they've done. I have ornaments on here that people have given me as a mailman, as a Christmas gift. So yeah, there's tons and tons of memories on this tree as a result. So there you go. That's the history of the birch tree in our household. And that was Christmas here at our house. We do have this fake green tree in our entryway, but that's the only one that we have that is a kind of a greenish tree, or a traditional tree. I'm gonna go back to setting you on this table here, plugging the phone back in because my battery's low. There we go. So if you're on and you have the ability to type, go ahead, leave a comment, say hello, let me know who's watching. It certainly helps for interactions on these lives. Reposition you here a little bit. There we go. Now that you're stable again and propped up on the desk, I have my computer restarting in the background. I guess it just got an update. Well, yeah. What is going on with your holidays? Are some of you off work? I'm guessing because of the sheer numbers of me popping on, and not many other people are on right now. Most people are either at work or having dinner where they are, or maybe gone to bed already, because I know all the different time zones around. It's very hard to organize when to start these lives. The ones that I have been doing on Wednesdays, traditionally I go on at around 2 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time. And so that has some people on the West Coast kind of in their morning day at work. And it has others in Europe sitting down to supper at that time. So maybe not the ideal time, but it does work normally for me because I've gotten home from work. I've had lunch and I've had a chance to prep it up. Now on the weekends, my lives are a little earlier. I usually do them at around 10 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time on Saturdays. And so I usually get some of the same people, but sometimes it's a different crowd depending on who's around on a Saturday. I'm still trying to figure it out. But today was one of those days where I thought, rather than me recording a video and editing or taking the day off completely, I figured, well, I'll come on, I'll talk about what's been going on here and some of the ideas that have been swirling around through my head about videos upcoming to do. There are a lot of things that I want to show from the area and talk about people that are around. There are a lot of stamps that are back here in my father's collection that I want to start showing. I've primarily been showing you his Canadian stamp collection and we are getting closer to being current with that. Um, but I would like to jump into some other ones. I was really happy to be able to do that video on the penny red stamp from Great Britain that was in conjunction with Liverpool stamps, and they gave me a discount code to share with all you guys that if you put in TDG, you were going to get 25% off any of your purchases of the penny red stamp until the end of December 2023. So that was kind of nice to have that. So we're in the final few days of that promotion going on. But it was nice to talk about the penny red. It wasn't a stamp that I really knew much about. I did notice that my father had a couple in his collection, and then Liverpool stamps were generous enough to send on a few too that I could show and talk about. But we have some ideas for some other ones to do, and we're not just necessarily going to stick with stamps from Great Britain. We're going to go to stamps that mean stuff from around the world, and Liverpool stamps is one of the places that you could find a variety of different stamps that you might want to fill for your collection. So that is my idea going forward, that once a month I was going to have a stamp or a series of stamps from a collection to talk about, and then Liverpool stamps might help out with that. So we will see. We kind of have an idea where we're going to start for January, so you have to watch out for that one. And it means I've got some research to do too. All right, what else? It feels like it's been a whirlwind of things going on lately. I had that really nice advent calendar that I showed you from Stephen in Australia, which showed that I am not a linguistic genius, that my identification of languages is hard to do. So I'd be curious to see how many of you went through that 25-day advent calendar and could come up with the different languages. I had some messages saying that maybe it's easier for Europeans to decipher some of these languages, and probably is, because you're a lot closer to the ones that he selected than I am. We basically have English and French here in Canada, and the other languages you hear in the background are from people that have now called Canada their home and continue to speak their language. So when you're walking the mall, sometimes you hear Ukrainian, and sometimes you hear Arabic and Mandarin, and it's nice to hear all the different languages. But to physically see a word and have it printed out, it is really hard to decipher what language that would be, which I found from that advent calendar. I had a lot of fun with it, and I hope if you guys watched that video too, you had fun going through. Maybe your scores were better than mine figuring it out. It's much like Eric when he sends me the riddles from Ontario. I don't do very well with the riddles, but I think other people have fun doing it too. Oh, hello, Media from Finland. You just came home from the sauna. Hopefully you're a lot more relaxed there now. You've got your new book, so you've got something to enjoy. Yeah. Hopefully you're having a good time. It sounds like you do have quite a bit of snow on the ground, and your temperatures are a little cooler than ours are here. We are still snow-free, but I do look ahead in the forecast, and it looks like we might be getting some flurries in the next couple days. So being able to say that there's no snow on the ground may change in the excuse me, choke on my own words. That might change in the next couple days. We'll see. I'll keep you posted though. It's about 3 degrees Celsius here today. There's the weather report. Sometimes people are always waiting to find out what the weather report is, and a report from their country is what it is too. So here in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada, it is 3 degrees Celsius. Media, hopefully you had a good day and you enjoyed your weekly sauna. All right, 2 people show they're on. 1 person's liked it, so let's get more likes up by the people when they're joining, and also make sure we get some comments and things going through here too. That makes a big difference to these lives. One of the things I found going back through the lives that I've done so far, it looks like only about 60 people watch them, which means they're in the low end of any videos that I produce. I think too, because they're a lot longer than what I normally do. So 10 to 20 minute video, most people will sit through. An hour long video, yeah, I don't think a lot of people want to sit through them unless they've been on them live and were able to join and participate. It is different though, because for example, in this video, when people weren't on, I talked about a lot of upcoming things, and I gave kind of a little walk around and some history. So that was in the first part of the video. So if you're watching it after the fact, then it might be some new information for you. Otherwise, we're just getting messages now. So Media says the weather forecast says that we could have 30 centimeters on the 5th of January. Wow, okay, you're in for a good amount of snow coming up. No, okay, I think I've read that wrong. You could have minus 30 Celsius on the 5th. Is that what you're saying? That's pretty cold. And today it is 0 or -1, so it's kind of nice. Yeah, sometimes I should have my glasses on when I'm reading these messages on my phone. I saw -30 C, and I thought I saw the ON as an M, so I was thinking it was in centimeters. Yeah, -30 would be kind of drastic change from what you've been having recently. You've been kind of hovering around that -5 type. Yeah, no, I got that, that I made a mistake. -30. Yeah, not great. You're right, that is brutally cold, and it would be a big change from what you're currently getting. But it is winter after all. We expect that January, February, early parts of March, the weather isn't going to be great. It's going to be snowy, it's going to be cold. So for us, being the 28th of December and no snow on the ground, we only had that one little bit of snow back the day before Halloween in October. That's all we've had for snow, other than flurries that don't stick. And it hasn't really been that cold. We've had a couple days of -15, -18 with the wind chill. But most of the time we're hovering around 0 to +5, I think, most days lately. It's not normal. I'm not complaining about it though. I don't mind when it's mild. If it could stay mild the rest of the winter and we kind of just skip right over and go into spring, I'd be happy with that too. But a lot of people that enjoy snowmobiling or cross-country skiing or downhill skiing wouldn't really like that kind of a winter. Media, I think it might just be the two of us on right now. You bought some new winter clothes in case the weather is cold next week. That's probably wise if you didn't have them already. I know when I'm working in the winter, I have turtlenecks. I have maybe a shirt over that, my uniform shirt. I wear a big heavy winter jacket. I have a scarf. I have, sometimes I have a face protection like a balaclava on. I have my toque. I have gloves that have fingers that are free that I can feel the mail with. I have long johns. I have jeans. I have winter pants. I have boots, heavy socks. Yeah, you gotta dress for the occasion. Lately, I haven't had to do all that because it hasn't been that cold. And I'm on vacation this week, so I don't have to do it at all. The only thing I did today was my son had a basketball game, which their team won, which was nice. And I went in to work the entry desk, so we kind of take the money for the people that were coming in. That was my job today, but still managed to get to see the game, so it was nice. What else is going on? My wife is at work this week. My daughter is back to work. Her wisdom teeth came out last week, and she's recovering nicely. The swelling's basically all gone down. She has a little bit of bruising on either side, and she still has some pain, discomfort, but she's doing better, and she's starting to eat more. She had one of the stitches come out yesterday, so they're all supposed to dissolve and go away on their own, not something you have to take out. Just close this message that's popping up behind here. Like I said, my computer is restarting. I think it just did an update. I shaved today. I shaved my head. I left the beard. I'm not sure how long I'm going to leave the beard for, but this is kind of the time of the year that I tend to grow a little bit of a beard to keep me warm. I don't need it right now, but at some point I will, I think. I don't know. I just felt like when I shaved, I didn't want to shave my beard today. I don't think it looks too bad, does it? Oh, yes. See, I've added to the tower. There's where I've been saving all my postcards. I had them all sorted by country in alphabetical order. I still have them mostly by alphabetical order, but countries like Finland, where I get cards from Media, or Canada, the United States, Great Britain, Germany, those are big card countries that I'm getting cards from. So they each get their own drawer in the stack, and then all the other countries that I haven't yet gotten a lot of cards from are still left in alphabetical order and in a drawer together. So that's how I've done it so far. So I have I have 5 big drawers that are each one country. It's a lot easier when cards are coming in to be able to sort them that way and to be able to find stuff quicker. I was finding the other way I had kind of 2 drawers. I had Great Britain and I had the United States had their own drawers, and then all the other countries were in alphabetical order together. Well, the drawers were filling up so quickly that I couldn't do that, so I wanted to go to this. What do we have? Oh, hello from Latvia. Hello, Jan. Welcome to the live stream. How are things in Latvia? What are you doing for traditions this time of year? Very curious. It's always nice to have someone new join the live as well. I've seen my numbers of people going up and then down and up and down, so I know that I'm on kind of at that wrong time of day when people are either at work or having supper. So I'm glad you've made it on and said hello. Yeah, the organization of postcards. I mean, this is how I used to do it. I put them in these binders. They all have plastic sleeves to protect them. I put 2 cards in a sleeve. You probably could put 4, but I like to see the front and the back of it. So I would put 2 cards in. And then they just filled up. I had binders and binders and binders of them, which meant I was happy because I was getting lots of cards from lots of different people. Now I've gone to the only ones that are in binders now are my official post crossing cards. They've stayed in binders. They're back there on the shelf, right there. There, the purple one and the black one, those ones. And I have this binder for cards that people send me in for That Dad Guy Answers. So every month, the first Saturday of the month, I ask a question. And the next Saturday, I read all the answers that people send in. So I've kept all those cards in here. So the recipes that I've been doing for holiday treats are in that binder. Otherwise, they're in this stack of bins now. That's where I keep all my direct swaps. So if I want to go and look in the look back and see, okay, what cards did Media, for example, send me from Finland, I can go in and look and see. I used to have people ask, can we see all your blue cat cards or all your hedgehog cards? And I've done a couple videos like that, but now it's because I've got a good amount in the collection, it's not as easy to find them that way. So I might be able to do, cards from Ukraine. Here are all the cards from Ukraine that I've received, or cards from an individual person. Would be easier now if I ever need to say, okay, I'm going to go back and check on all the cards that Jilly B sent me. I think the more and more organized you get, the better it is. I just had a profile that I was reading that I was sending off to someone, and they were digitizing all their cards, taking pictures of them, both sides of them, putting them on a memory stick, and then you could organize it by country. that way as well. It is a way to do it that you can look at it and take up a whole lot less space. But I know she was keeping them in binders too on top of that, so her binder collection must be huge. The one thing I worry about with having collections and collections of postcards building up is that at some point I have to decide, what am I going to do with all these postcards? I don't spend a lot of time going back and looking at them over and over again. There are some beautiful cards, some beautiful stamps on them too. But if something ever should happen to me, what's my wife going to do with them all? What will our kids do with them all? Are they, I always wonder that when people do collections. You hear people that are lifelong stamp collectors, and then their children inherit their collection after they go, and it's given away or it's sold for pennies on the dollar. That's the hard thing about something you put lots of time and energy into collecting, is that who's going to take on that passion next? My father had this passion for stamp collecting. I luckily do enjoy it as well, so I was able to take it on. Right now, I don't think I have either of my children are really interested in it. So who knows? Maybe in the future they will, but it will go somewhere. So who else is on? I see we've got a few more people. Make sure you click on the like button, the thumbs up too, just to even things out. In Riga, it's only -3 today. That's not too bad. -3 isn't bad temperature. Enjoying a nice coffee while watching YouTube. So there you go. That's very relaxing. I'm glad that you've chose my channel to relax with. Do I collect revenue stamps? I think there are some in my father's collection. I'm not necessarily sure that, it's not a specific thing he collects. But it's something it's a topic I could do a video on for sure. I did one on some government overprints not too long ago. But revenue stamps would be a good one to do a video on as well. You have revenue stamps from the United States from the 1900s. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I need to go through some of these Scott albums. And when I need my Scott albums, I'm going to grab one here. Scott catalogs. This is SO to Z countries. Tells you what came out. This only goes up to, what year do we have on this one here? 2006. So it's an older catalog. But I do want to go through some of this and find some topics to talk about. Media says, do you write down what kinds of cards, how many, and when you have received them? Your friend mail direct swaps, only write down the kinds of cards I've sent so I don't send duplicates. I do have a spreadsheet for all the cards that I've sent out, not any of the cards I've received, but when I send a card out, it's on my spreadsheet. Just for the same reason, I try not to duplicate if I can. It doesn't always work out, but for the most part, I think it does. And Jan also has Austrian and Hungarian revenue stamps. Sounds like you're a revenue stamp collector then. I bet you it looks really cool. Yeah, I need to go back and do some research on that and see what's out there. My father has a world collection, but so he would just kind of collect whatever people would send him in response to trading the stamps that he sent them back. So sometimes he has older stamps in there, and sometimes he has, current for him, I would say, was like the 70s, 80s, and 90s when he was heaviest into his stamp collecting. His most complete collection is his Canadian ones, so he does have some revenue stamps in there, and I'm sure I've shown them in the past, but I didn't specifically say this sheet was revenue stamps. I did get a few not too long ago, so that on the floor. I did get a few war tax stamps at one of the stamp shows that I went to not too long ago. Yeah, the Scott catalogs are filled with lots of good information. I was fortunate enough to get this collection of Scott catalogs very cheaply at an auction at a stamp show. So that was the only way I could afford it. If you were to go get a brand new set, I know it's hundreds, if not $1,000 for new books. My father used to always just go to the library when he needed a certain country. We'd go take out that catalog. So he never invested in them at all, other than borrowing them from the library from time to time. Hello, Jennifer from Moncton, New Brunswick. Nice to have you on, and you just finished work, so that's good. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully work wasn't too bad for you today. Weather-wise, it should have been okay. The parcel and mail volume, I'm not sure what it's like because I'm not at work. But so we've talked weather, we've talked some stamps. Yes, colored pictures in the catalog too are nice, especially when you're trying to match up a stamp that you have. I found that too. If I say, okay, I want to look for, here's an example. This stamp came out this year. I know that it's one of the winter stamps from Canada, but you know, if you pulled out the catalog in a year or two time, it'd be nice to be able to match it up to say exactly what came. Jennifer has a question for me. Do you miss work? I do not miss work. No. We worked so much before Christmas, and 6 days a week with Sundays. And some of those days were pretty cold or pretty wet. We had some rainy days too. I am enjoying my vacation, my break. I'll get back probably worrying about work on January 1st. Until then, I'm not really thinking about it too much. I am sure that whoever is covering my route and the people that are in helping out will do a great job and get all the stuff to my customers that they need in my absence. And then in the new year, we'll start all over again and get into delivering. But until then, I don't have to worry about it. I like the fact that we have a good bunch of people that are mixed on here, that it is stamp collectors, there's some Lego collectors, we've got post crossers, we have people that are into stickers. I have people that are into you know, the car shows I go to or the craft fairs I go to, and we have a nice mix of people in the community. And I even have some people like Jennifer who are from work that tune in as well. What else do I have to show? Pretty soon I probably will have a Timu order to show because I did. There's a feather floating around up there. Where'd that come from? There's no birds in the house. Yeah, I ordered some stickers and things from Timu in order to get the collection up. I did receive some stickers and things too. I can show you that. I got this great book of stickers. There are 655 different ones in here, including some hedgehogs. And there are pages of different things, which is nice because so many times you go get a sticker book and every page is exactly the same. So this has a variety, including hedgehogs there and some raccoons and foxes, and you know, people put in their profiles there's things that they like specifically, animals they like, or trains they like, so it's nice to have a few stickers and things to make them happy when they get it. I also got some washi tape. So this is the smaller size washi tape. It's all kind of metallic, or this one here is got sparkles and everything in it. So I'm sure there's people that are going to enjoy that. And I did write up 11 official postcards the other day, and so some of them got some of that new washi tape on it. So that was nice to get for Christmas. Washi tape I find I go through quite a bit. I have a few themed ones. So ones like Halloween and Christmas. Christmas I'll now retire. And Halloween ones will retire again until next year. I was given this great box of washi tape from Shara in British Columbia, and you can see I've gone through a lot of it now, and some of them, you know, by the time I do one card, that roll will be done too, so I'm kind of going through a lot of it that way. I do about 20 to 25 cards a week. I put out 11 official post-crossing ones this week. I didn't do any direct swaps yet. I've made a list of the people that I have to send back to, and I probably will have a few more from this week. I'll just mash them all together and do them at one time. I didn't want to feel like I had to get them out, that there was a pressure that every week I've got to respond, because one, it gets very expensive to do that, and the more I'm sending out cards, I don't want the pressure of the people that are receiving them to feel like they're always having to respond as quickly. So I took a bit of a break from the direct swaps, just for a week. I'll let it build up a little bit. I knew that this was going to be a short mail week. There's only 3 days of mail that you're going to receive here in Canada, so I shouldn't have too many more to add to it, and then I can go this weekend and write some back. That's the plan anyways. All right, we got a few more people that are on now too. That's good. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button if you like it. I mean, if you don't like it, don't leave a thumbs up, that's for sure. I guess if you don't like it too, you don't necessarily have to continue watching. I appreciate it if you do. I probably will make some new postcards as well here in the new year. There is a local artist and post-crosser. I've shown some of her postcards in the past, Audrey Favre, and she has created some beautiful new images. So I've talked to her about maybe getting some of those postcards as well. I want to show you what she's been creating, including one of her newest designs, which I don't think she was planning on turning into a postcard, but she might for me. She's done a Krampus one, really cool art on it. So not necessarily the bright side of Santa and his elves, but some of the other darker folklore that's out there. She does a great job with it, so I'm really happy to be able to show it soon. I have a full factory in home. It kind of feels like that. Yeah, this is my post-crossing stamp hub. Yeah, I've got bags of stamps. At some point I will go, this is Japan. These are all stamps that are from Japan that need to go in albums at one point. I don't know when I'm going to have time to do that. You guys have been so generous to keep sending me stamps, and I show them. I try to organize them, put them aside, but I haven't put them in albums or done anything like that. I almost need to buy a whole bunch of brand new albums in order to put these into, in order to try to integrate them into my father's collection. So yeah, the stamps here. I have an envelope of, airmail stickers and new stamps to send out to people when I do up my postcards. I have a box over here of all my blank postcards to send out. I have the ones that I've received. So this is my office, my hub. The only thing I don't really have in this office is Lego. That is in other parts of the room. Well, I do have this Lego. So my floral arrangement. I do have that, so I can't say that this room is Lego free. And I have selfie sticks that I need for the videos that I do, including the one that I'm on right now. They're in this room as well. I've got my binders of stuff. The lower level binders, there are binders of all the instruction booklets that go to all my Lego sets as well. So that's in there too. So I kind of have a shelf of mix match nothingness here, and then the stuff that's on top is kind of some of my Steelers terrible towels. You can see those up there, and paper helmet from the CFL. Then I have my father's stamp collection on the next 2 levels, and then I get down a level and there are some binders that are for Lego catalogs, and Lego instructions are in there. So that's kind of what's on that whole bookcase. This armoire on this side is basically all my writing stuff. You can see the mess that's here. I have envelopes from people that have sent me stamps or advent calendar stuff. This glass cabinet back here has the year-end albums in it for the stamps that I've been showing you too from Canada. They're in there. And some of my first day covers are in there as well. Yeah. So when you say there's a factory of stuff, there kind of is a factory for hobbies in this room. And even in the back, you can see right here, here's the old paper that my father uses or used, and now I use it when I soak stamps or spray them with this product to get the paper off the back. That product is nice because it smells like oranges, so if you like the smell of oranges, it is perfect. What else do I have? If you've received a card from me, you have gotten one of my labels from my label maker. So that is something that I really enjoy too. I don't really like the way that I write. I'm sure if you've received a card from me, you might find it hard to even read some of my writing. It was always small. It is always kind of quick, so some of the letters run together. I used to be to write more in cursive. I've gone to printing now to try to make it more legible for people. So when I got this label maker, that was great because my labels now, I know for sure the post office people will be able to read where they're intended to go. In the past, I don't know that they they did all the time, and so sometimes there was some mistakes. Hello, Amber from Missouri. Welcome. So yeah, I'm always looking for things like that. I also have all these little cutouts. So I've taken recipe cards like this, and I've cut them up. And so whenever people have postcards to me, oh, Isabel from Chili's on too. Hello, hello. When people send me stuff, I usually put this over top of the address, and I clip them with one of my many paper clips that I have over here. So I went away from using sticky notes because I found it was such a waste. I would use a sticky note and then it wouldn't work for another one, so I'd be throwing them out. So I went to these recipe cards with paper clips, and I know Renee Lewis also does that now too. So I think it's a much better system, and I can reuse them over and over and over again, so I'm not wasting the paper like I used to. You have 1 million stamps or more. I have approximately 100,000 when I start collecting on 6 or 7 years. It does not take long for you to hoard stamps, and it's a great thing about stamps too is that they're relatively inexpensive, and if you're trading with other people, because maybe you're getting free stamps and you can trade them with other people, you can get a pretty good collection that way. Did I have a good Christmas? Amber writes. I did have a good Christmas, very relaxing, although Christmas Day was always a bit of a rush. You kind of get up, you do the present opening, you go to make breakfast, you have that. People start running off to see other people during the day. Then you're cooking the turkey, you're having a big meal in the end. Then you do some cleanup. So by the time Christmas Day is done, speaking for myself, usually pretty wiped. The energy level is gone. Boxing Day is much better. It's usually a relaxing day that you can stay in your pajamas for as long as you really want to, and nothing really going on. So the last couple of days have been pretty quiet. Yesterday I did go out. I ran some errands. There was some things that needed to be done. Dropped off my daughter to work. Took my son to basketball practice. Exchanged a couple things that needed to be exchanged, and picked up a few things like my new cases for my postcards. I got that yesterday too. Do I open presents on the morning of the 25th? Yes, we do present opening on Christmas morning. I know when I was growing up as a child, we were always allowed to open one present on Christmas Eve. And I've heard from other people that open all their presents on Christmas Eve. Some do that. My son was with his girlfriend Christmas Eve, and that's when they opened their presents from each other. So yeah. But as a family, that's the tradition. We get up in the morning and open our presents. I watched a video not too long ago, I think it was on TikTok, that says every father on Christmas Day, and it showed the kids opening the presents and the father grabbing all the wrapping paper and throwing it into a garbage bag almost immediately. That was me. So this year I didn't do that. My mother-in-law did do that a bit though. Here in Finland, we open presents on the 24th, usually in the evening. So yeah, so you get all your presents the night before. That's good. And oh, what country is it? Is it the Netherlands that has St. Martin's Day? So they do all their presents on like the 8th of December, 12th of December, something like that. Yeah, every country is a little bit different. Isabel, in Chile, they open all of them on Christmas Eve. So that's, yeah. Well, it would make Christmas Day a little bit less hectic if you could do all the gift opening the night before, and then Christmas isn't necessarily all about the presents. For us, we don't wrap our presents until Christmas Eve. Now, I know that I wouldn't say that's the normal everywhere. If you go anywhere in Atlantic Canada or in Canada that they do that, that's certainly not the case. Just as our family, our household, how we do it, we have supper, and in the evening we wrap our presents, put them all under the tree, and that's when it gets done. People gravitating to wrapping presents in fabric to reuse. That's a good idea. There's such a waste of paper for such a short amount of time. When you wrap your presents, tear them off, and it goes right in the garbage. I know my mother used to have some. You know, when you take it off, you kind of unwrap it carefully, and then you could reuse that paper or that tissue paper again. And certainly, if you have a bag and you have tissue paper, that tissue paper stays. It doesn't go in the garbage. We reuse that over and over again. There's a nice way of mixing it up. Amber says that her husband does stuff on Christmas Eve, and then her family does it on Christmas Day. So you both kind of have your time to do your traditions. And Isabel says that on the 25th, people go to their extended families to exchange presents. Yeah, you kind of have to organize. I know when my wife and I were dating or in that earlier stage, half my time had to be at her parents' place, and then half our time had to be at my parents' place, and to have those nice traditions. Sometimes you had multiple meals in the same day because one person did the Christmas meal at lunch and the other person did it at supper time. So you were just stuffed. I am so glad that we are now kind of the host household now. So people come here, we have one meal, and then they go off. And we also don't have to travel all around the place. That my in-laws come here. Up until this year, my parents came here too. So everybody could have one meal, and it was in this one house. The only downside is that we have cleanup. Welcome, Basil from Goa. 22 degrees there, so he's giving his time frame of his weather report. We had a few. We had Finland gave a weather report earlier on in the video, and then I gave mine as well. So yeah, never too late to give the weather report in these videos. So it's funny to see. Not funny is not the right word. Interesting to see people's traditions when they do gift opening. What they have for their dinners. What they do after Christmas is done. You know, what happens during that week between Christmas and New Year's Eve? Are you all back to work? Are you have other traditions that you're doing during that time? Do you take time off from work so you can travel and visit other people? It's 5 in Missouri, 5 degrees Celsius. And they have some snow, okay? Basil, are you in Butane now? Is that why you're giving a weather report from that country? Butane, not butane. That is what I said. It's not the gas. New Year's Eve. Do you guys have big traditions? Are you out celebrating? What do you normally do? Do you have a games night? We used to have a whole bunch of appetizers for the kids, and then we would play games and watch movies and stay up till midnight. And then on midnight, we would open the front door and yell "Happy New Year," and everybody would call it a night. Um, Now the kids go out usually, and mom and dad we stay home and watch TV and hope that we can make it till midnight. Okay, Basil's in Goa. Okay. Well, I hope everybody did have a good Christmas and are enjoying their holidays. I've had a lot of mail stacked up for tomorrow. Not yet, no, but I didn't go to do my postal box yet, so I will go tomorrow in the morning and pick that up and see what we have. But so far, I have 4 pieces of mail. So not a very big mail week so far. So I will see what comes in tomorrow, whether or not it's going to be a big video or a very small video. Basil's still enjoying Christmas sweets, still past midnight. There's no time limit to enjoy Christmas sweets. They're all around. With my daughter having her wisdom teeth out, she hasn't been able to keep up her end of the bargain and eat as many Christmas sweets. So I fear that if I was to get on the scale, I may be adding some weight. And I haven't been as active either, so I haven't been getting in the walks. We did go for a walk last night, but there's been so much other stuff going on that I haven't been doing my extra exercises that I need to do. Isabel says when she was a girl, she used to go see fireworks with the entire family for New Year's Eve. That's cool. We used to do fireworks here. We used to have a big bonfire. Everyone used to bring their Christmas trees. So we don't do this anymore because it's not as environmentally friendly. But all the Christmas trees used to go into a spot down at Centennial Park. I've shown that park before. It's a big park here in the city. And they would have a giant bonfire and have fireworks and stuff as a result of it to do the New Year. Now they don't do that. They do collect all the Christmas trees, but they mulch them up and then they reuse them for lining in the parks and things like that to make it a little bit more environmentally friendly. Isabel, she says she's now like me. Does that mean that you have a quiet evening and don't do very much on New Year's Eve anymore? Basil used to do fireworks for Diwali in his younger days. Yeah, now the only time I think of fireworks in the city, specifically every year that we have, of course, is Canada Day, July 1st. We do fireworks. Sometimes there are for other events that they have them, but that is the one every year that there will be fireworks in the city. Sometimes you see people with their own fireworks that go off and do them now too, or Roman candles, because you can buy fireworks, just not the massive $100,000 worth of fireworks. You can buy fireworks in convenience stores and things here. They used to be against the law to have, but not anymore. So a lot of other traditions, other countries and cultures traditions, you'll hear fireworks going off for people that are celebrating. Specifically, Diwali comes to mind too, that during Diwali we would hear fireworks going off here as well. Basil has a special cancellation in Goa for New Year's Eve. It sounds like his philatelic bureau always has lots of great cancellations. There's a lot of people that just collect cancellations. I've gotten some nice ones, But I'm still more about the stamp, I think, than I am a cancellation. So Amber says in Missouri, everyone finds dumb excuses to set off fireworks here. They're not technically allowed, but certain times of year. Yeah, people that go to their cottages on the weekends just as a way to have fun on the weekends will set off fireworks as well. So no real purpose other than getting together. You want to have some fun, fire off a few fireworks over the lake. Isabel asked, do I prefer postage stamp albums with a black dark background or with a white clear background? Okay, so these binders up here, most of them are loose leaf pages with hinge stamps in them, so it's kind of a white background. The new albums I bought, especially when I was trying to collect Ukrainian stamps for my father, they were new binders with black backgrounds and just the rows in them that you could add the stamps into. I think I prefer those now. I get away from the hinges. I do like that. Now I know what you mean. You can get white background with the clear on the front or black with the. I only have black, so I don't know what the white would look like. As long as it doesn't take away from the stamp, I'm happy either way. I think most stamps though would pop more on a black background. That's what I'm thinking. And Isabel says in Chile the same thing. They have or Concepcion. They have people firing off fireworks whenever they want to. Yeah, I like the nice clean look of the black background with the stamps. And growing up with the hinges and stuff. Now I did buy hinges, thinking that I probably would go back into that. I don't think I will. I think I want to buy some more albums that are just pages that I can slide the stamps into. One of the nice things about loose leaf though is that when you wanted to arrange it, you could just open the binder, put new ones in, versus these books that I have come with a preset amount of pages in them that you can't take out or move around. I know you can get those pages without them though. Let me give you an example. I don't have one handy. Oh well. You know what I'm talking about. You're stamp collectors too. You know what you're doing. Yeah, with time, things change. And hopefully they change for the better. I think the stamps are in better condition now that they're not hinged. Because you see pages, some of these albums haven't been open for a very long time, and they've been stuck together and pressed for a long, long time, that the stamp itself, I think, is getting damaged by being pressed without being opened and looked at. You have a bunch of stamps that are just in baggies. Yeah, I do too. Just like this, people have sent me stamps. I've shown them on the channel. I haven't put them into, separated them by countries yet, or haven't made an effort to add them to binders yet. I haven't done any of that. So one day I'm going to have to take time and just sort through. I even have a bunch that I've got set aside that have to be soaked in order to get the backing off them. You've never done the hinge things, Basil. No. You have a lot of mint stamps in your collection too, so I'm glad that you wouldn't hinge those. I know Smokey from Snail Mail with Smokey. He has binders and he has individual stamps that he's written up inside individual containers that talks about the Scott number on it and whether it's fine or very fine or mint. He's done a fabulous job doing that up too, but I would think if you get into a world collection and doing that would be a very expensive and very time consuming way to run your collection, but his looks fantastic. Oh, Basil has his miniature sheets in separate binders. And he was arranging Austrian stamps late last night, so he's been working hard on his collection. yeah, I'm envious of other people's collections and how they've done it. I think too that some people get to focus all their energy into one hobby, where I'm a bit, I don't want to say scatterbrained, but because I'm into post crossing, I'm into Lego, I'm into stamps, and then I have all these other things to do as well too. That organizing them the way I really want to organize them, I don't have time to do that yet. Yeah, Isabel, his are very tidy. It's really nice. But I think too because he is just starting as a stamp collector too. He's able to kind of focus that energy, and some of the things he does are topical, so he can create binders that are just giraffes or just flowers. That's how he can organize them as well. Where this collection was organized by country and by um, Scott catalog number, it makes it a little harder to add things in or to change things around. And nor do I really want to change it, because part of the memory of my father's stamp collection is how he put it together. So I want to stay true to that form a bit. Yeah, so Basil's into a lot of different hobbies too, so you kind of focus your time on different ones at different times. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick by countries. I'm not much into a theme collector, and I like the look of being able just to grab a binder from a country, and like I know some of these aren't countries, they're continents because my father didn't have a lot of stamps, so he's got a binder that's just South America or just Africa because he didn't have a lot of people to trade with stamps from those countries, so we didn't have a lot. So he didn't need a whole binder for one country, but it's a shame you have a whole continent in one binder. It means a lot of stamps are missing. Or the reverse side of looking at that is that look at all the stamps we still have to collect and see out there that we haven't experienced. Thank you, Media, for joining. You're heading off as it is a little later there in Finland. I appreciate you popping on and saying hello. It has been a long video though, so you guys have done well to stick around and chit chat. I think probably the first 30 minutes of this video was just me talking about things that were going on. And then you guys came alive and all joined on. So thank you, Media, for joining. And thanks for the rest of you coming on too and participating. Basil says Africa's, you don't find people to trade with and not as many post crossers by large. Same with the Caribbean. Yeah, I imagine there's someone out there. It's just a matter of finding those right people. Bye, Medea. Well, we won't stick around too much longer, but as people seem to be active with writing, I don't want to close it down. If people are still talking, that's good. Basil's been searching the last 17 years for people to trade with. Yeah, I'm not as active that way. If people send me stuff, I'll add it to the collection. I'm not out there asking for anything in particular or looking for certain things. Like I said, I've got enough stuff going on right now that I'm not in that mode. I'm just happy to share what people send, which is great because I'm learning a lot more about the hobby and stamps from the different videos that I'm able to produce based on some of the content people have sent. Yeah, you're going to find there are a lot of stamp collectors in Europe and North America specifically. I think you're going to find most of them from an older demographic for the most part. Now there are some new people starting to collect it, But as postage stamps transition, whether when they went to adhesive or now they're into barcodes, some of them envelopes you can pay and buy a code. Like in the Netherlands, you can buy a code and there's no actual physical stamp on the envelope. Some of them are machine postage meters now. Really takes away from stamp collecting because some of those new ones aren't being used. So I'm glad to be able to show off the ones that Canada Post puts out every year. And as long as they can continue doing that, I think you'll have some people that are collecting them. The barcode, I think, is the way that a lot of places are going to go. This past year, of course, you saw Great Britain go into barcodes and say that anything that doesn't have a barcode no longer has a monetary value to send, which was a shame because they have a lot of people that had collected all these stamps to use them, and now they're either become garbage or hopefully some collector somewhere grabs a hold of them and saves those stamps. You will find a few post crossers will add extra stamps onto. They'll put the barcode stamp on, and then because they have these other older mint stamps for people that say they're stamp collectors, they usually add them to their postcards. I imagine you're going to see barcodes ending up going everywhere because it is one way that stops people from reusing stamps that were never canceled the first time, and there's a lot of money wasted and stolen from the postal system as a result of that. So my prediction is that all countries that are looking to save money in the postal system will end up going barcoded. North America, we haven't started that yet, but you see it with Germany and Great Britain. Two big countries have gone barcoded. More will follow. And part of those stamps too have the micro cuts in them. Makes them even harder to get those adhesive stamps to come off the pages. The stuff I showed you before does work though. So canisters of that stuff helps. The Goo Gone stuff, that helps too. But if you're just using plain water on those, sometimes you're ripping the stamps. Yep, I think you're right, Amber. A matter of time, it will come. Yeah, if Isabel has a channel pop up, we'll certainly watch it. She just has to let us know what the name of it is and when it goes active. Shows 6 people on, 5 people liking it right now. There's a few notable absences from today's live stream that are normally on, so it's a shame they're not here, but I didn't advertise I was coming on, and it just worked out this way that I got a chance to pop on. But I am going to have to go soon because I am going to have to start thinking about what I'm cooking for supper tonight, and it always takes a little bit of time to get this uploaded and get a snapshot on there too, some things that I need to add on. So I think now that we're coming up on 74 minutes, I think we're going to say goodbye. And we'll talk to you guys. The next live stream will be Saturday. Hopefully get a chance to do it. Did you start the live video later this time? I did start it a little bit later. I think I started at 2:30 Atlantic Standard Time, and it's Thursday rather than Wednesday. So both things had a little bit different. All right. It's going to be it for today. If you missed the first part, go back and watch it when it comes live for everybody else. All right. Have a magical week.